3 years ago, I bought my PS5 for 38,000 rupees, and I thought to myself, should I even buy it now? Maybe it would cost lesser 3 years down the line. Maybe it would come down to 25,000 or 20,000. But do you know what? It costs 50,000 rupees in the used market right now. That's crazy. Traditional consumer tech has depreciated over time. This is the first time it might actually be appreciating and probably giving more returns than the Nifty 50 over the same duration. And that's what we're going to break down in this video. So to dig deeper, take a look at this particular graph. This shows the prices of PS1 to PS5 over the last 30 years. And notice the pattern. Once a launch is made, it immediately plummets. And it continues to depreciate until the next model is launched. But take a look at PS5. For the first time in modern gaming history, the curve didn't flatten. It's moving back up. It bottomed out in 2024, but the PS5 dramatically increased back to $650. This isn't normal inflation. This is like a historical anomaly. And the real reason for all this is one single component inside the PS5, and that is system memory. To understand how the system memory is driving up prices, we need to understand how a computer works. And for that, we are going to step inside a kitchen. I really like this example. So let's compare a computer with a world-class kitchen. Your central processor, the CPU, is the main chef. It makes the decisions and executes the commands. Your storage drive, the SSD, is a massive warehouse just down the street. It holds all the ingredients, your game files, textures, operating system, and all of that. But to get to the warehouse, it's too slow. And to run back and all of that, it takes up a lot of time. So what does the chef do? Chef uses the kitchen counter as a temporary space. And that temporary space is the RAM. It's the temporary workspace where ingredients are laid out, ready to be chopped, and thrown into the pan instantly. But modern video games don't just use a CPU. They rely heavily on graphics processing unit, the GPU. Unlike a CPU, which acts like one main chef, a GPU is like thousands of specialized chefs working simultaneously to render those small pixels every single second on your screen. If you give 1,000 chefs a tiny kitchen counter, they'll crash into each other. So they require a giant kitchen counter. And in tech terms, we are calling that VRAM or video RAM. So normal computers use standard DDR memory. It's built for a single chef, optimized to process tasks sequentially, one after another, at incredibly high speeds. But graphics demands raw bandwidth. They need to move massive chunks of data like 4K files all at the exact same time. And that's why the tech industry created graphics double data rate memory, which is called GDDR. And this is where the problem starts. So the PS5 did something very unique. To save space and cut down latencies, Sony didn't give it a normal DDR memory for the system and GDDR memory for the graphics. They built the entire console on 16 gigabytes of pure GDDR6 memory, the high-end memory. Because of that design choice, a PS5 is no longer just competing against Xbox. It is pulling from the exact same component pool that is required by AI hyperscalers. And that is actually getting affected right now with the demand for AI models and all of that coming up. So the large language models driving the AI boom don't run on normal computer processors. They run on massive clusters of enterprise GPUs. And if a video game demands a large kitchen counter, AI training demands a workspace the size of a football stadium. Just take a look at these numbers. A PS5 is using 16 gigabytes of VRAM, but an AI enterprise GPU is using 80 gigabytes of ultra premium memory, and the latest models, they can go up to 192 gigabytes just for one single unit. But when you think of like an AI server rack, it needs 8 of these GPUs. But when you're building large data centers, you're consuming a lot. You're almost consuming 2000 gigabytes of high performance memory in a single metal box. And that's eating up all the RAM availability in the world. So you might then ask, with the demand, why can't the supply also increase? Why can't these companies start producing more? But do you know what? So there are only 3 suppliers of this in the world: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. And you know what? They can't just double their production overnight, just like this. It takes a lot of money, almost 1 lakh crore rupees, to actually build a new fab and double the production. So what do these companies do in the short term? Anyway, in the long term, it's going to take up time. They're building these fabs. But in the short term, what do? They just divert all of their attention to the AI industry and supplying chips for the AI industry, and consumer tech is getting neglected. So we come back to the PS5. Even though Sony is a large company, it has started to feel the pressure of these increasing memory costs and now has started transferring some of that pain to the consumers. And that's why we see an increase in PS5 prices. So when the prices of PS5 increase, what happens? The pre-owned market or the used market also drives the prices up, and therefore you see that a 38,000 PS5 which I bought 3 years ago can be sold at 50,000 rupees today. So over time, you're going to start realizing this. Consumer tech prices are going to go up. Maybe stuff at home that you've already bought might start appreciating, something that's never happened in human history. Consumer tech traditionally depreciates, but this might be the time that it actually appreciates because of one core component, the memory inside, because of the supply demand of that memory chip. And this is happening because of the after effect of the AI supercycle that we are in right now. Stay tuned for more such content and do subscribe to this channel to support it. Thank you for your time.